Hello? Hello, everybody. I'm just trying to make sure everything is connecting, and looks like I have the green light from YouTube, so we're live. I hope you all are having a good morning or afternoon or evening wherever you are. Let me know if you can hear me and see me and everything's working well. Oops, sorry, I'm putting my finger over the camera. Okay, I must have turned my iPad upside down. I saw it is Shauna's first live. Welcome, welcome. Let me know if this is your first live stream. Welcome to everybody who is here. Good morning. Saw the Adams house at the museum. Yay! Thank you for going to see it, Donna. That's awesome. Can hear ya, see ya, and all that good stuff. Okay, awesome. I'm still a little stream shy from what went on last month, but turns out it wasn't my fault, so woohoo! So I'm not as worried, and everything should go good. So, welcome to everybody. It's Esther's first time. Welcome. First one in a while for Lorna. Yes, I have a little filing cabinet, so I'm going to talk a little bit about the cabinet. Okay, so the way I have the camera set up today is you are kind of like diagonal from me, or this camera is diagonal from me. So I'm hoping, so you can kind of see my hand, so I'm hoping you can see a little bit better. You're not connected to my desk, so hopefully there's no like wobbling and everything, because I'm going to be doing a lot of cutting, and a lot of times when I'm cutting on the surface of my desk, things kind of wobble. So I'm trying to keep no one getting sick from the motion of the camera. First live stream, Tamantha, welcome. Thank y'all for being here. We don't talk about the cursed stream. We don't. No, I was gonna sing Bruno, but I'm not gonna sing. I'm not gonna sing. Not yet. Not yet. I haven't warmed up enough yet. So today, if you saw the title, I am going to be making some greebles, which is, if you're not quite sure what that is, I want to find the camera to look at y'all. Which if you're not quite sure what that is, it is the like paneling and all the kind of chaos that, I wouldn't say chaos, organized chaos that goes into panels that end up on spaceship type sets to make it look like a very complicated type of device. And so that's what greebles are. I have to make quite a few of them for the captain's quarters. I had a subscriber named JD send me some greebles that were created for like they have like little panels and stuff, so I'm excited to use those. I'm going to use some laser cutting cutoffs that I actually used for this filing cabinet to try and create something. After I create the panel, I'm really hoping to try some oil washes. So this was really something I've been wanting to try for a while, and I knew that so in my new live stream series, I'm trying to try things, but to try things, a lot of times you have to buy new things. And so every now and then I'm going to try something new that with stuff I already have, and I do enjoy oil painting, so I did have some oil painting supplies already, so I thought this would be a really good stream, or a really good stream idea, just to try them out. So, and one of the things behind that is because a lot of the oil wash trials that I've seen, they're kind of done on plastics, and so I'm wanting to do some on my miniatures because I use a lot of paper. And actually I think oil washes as opposed to acrylic paint washes might be a little bit better for paper, because the water in the acrylic paint washes will warp paper. Sometimes you want the warpy look and the water damage look, excuse me, but sometimes you don't. So my oil painting experiment was a disaster. I actually took some classes. I took 2 classes in college for oil painting, and I really fell in love with it at that point. I don't really do it a lot. I'm very smell sensitive, and so strong smells really bother me. But since I took the class in college, they have come out with odorless mineral spirits, which really helps cut down on the smell that is usually associated with oil painting. And so I highly suggest the odorless mineral spirits. If you're not using the odorless, you'll definitely need a filter, or you need to open a window, because it will just become a little bit overpowering, in my opinion. Some people can paint inside with the regular stuff or the turpentine and do fine, but it's a little bit overpowering for me. Finland says hello. Hi, Finland. Hi from Texas. All right, so here's my plan of attack. My plan of attack, because I was trying to figure out how am I going to do all of this, is to start on the greebles and then paint those. And then while that's drying, before I do the oil washes, I want to try an oil wash on this filing cabinet. So let me tell you a little bit about the filing cabinet. This is my first try at a filing cabinet because I know I need them for Miss Argentina's office in the Beetlejuice house. And then also they're probably going to be needed in Juno's office. So I just wanted to go ahead and make a laser cut file. Hopefully I will be able to turn this into a kit for my store. But I just wanted something that I could repeat, because I'm going to need several of them, and hand cutting like 7 different filing cabinets was going to be a lot and take up a lot of time that I would rather use on other parts of the house. So this one is not quite going to fit. This is a full-size filing cabinet. Obviously, as you can see, I don't have enough room for this. So I'm going to have to make kind of a fake, like skinny one, kind of like this. To fit in the office area. So anyway, but we'll try this after I make the first greeble. Yes, I actually just changed my my craft blade. I just put on a fresh sharp blade so that we get nice clean cuts on what I'm about to start creating. So we will come back to the filing cabinet. Oh, I will tell you, because I know someone's going to want to know if the drawers work. I only made one open and close to where it'll open and close. The others are just glued on. In the scene, if you watch the scene with Miss Argentina where she opens the door, you can see there's some that are open with like papers coming out. So I hope to recreate that as well. So I made some of them where they will open, but the other ones are just glued on to make it a little bit easier to construct, faster to construct. So, but we will get back to this. I'm really excited to try and put some oil wash on this. Let's see, I'm trying to figure out where my camera is. One of the reasons that oil washes are really great is because they'll get into these cracks and give a little bit more of a definition on where the individual panels are. And it just makes your piece look a little bit more worn. Oh, thank you for the super sticker, Cynthia. Let's see. I think in the upstairs office there's a filing cabinet. The room Delia doesn't mess with. I could be wrong. Yeah, there definitely could be some filing cabinets in Charles' office. So having a filing cabinet file ready to go is going to be super helpful on this. So that is the plan. Let me go ahead and minimize myself here. And I'm going to get started on making a greeble. And so what I have here is, this is actually the thing that all of the filing cabinet pieces got cut out of. So I'm hoping to use some of these straight cuts to work on my panel. And then I have some little cutoffs here that I'm using. And then I just have, these were also cutoffs for the filing cabinet. And then this is going to be the base that I'm working on. So my thought process here is I'm just going to be making a flat panel, and I don't know exactly what it's going to be. I don't know exactly where it's going to go, but it's going to be a fun one to try and create and use the oil washes on. So I'm trying to figure out if I want to do it like vertical or sideways. I don't think I want to do the whole thing. So I'm going to, oh, I almost forgot. Let me finish this thought and then I'll tell you. So I'm going to make it a little bit shorter so we don't take up all our time just trying to fill this entire thing. What I have linked in the description. So as I'm doing my streams where I'm trying different things, I want to try and link other videos of people who have already mastered these skills. So if people are stumbling upon my channel and they're like, why is she struggling with this thing that's in the title of her video? I can say, well, I'm testing these things out, but go here if you want to find someone who knows what they're talking about. So for the Greebles, I have linked Adam Savage's video, and he worked on the original Star Wars, and so he definitely knows what he's doing. And he recommended a tool that I will introduce to you in a second. But if you want to see a lot more about Greebles and the thought process that goes behind it, I'm going to be obviously doing my own thought process and trying to share as much as I can. But he talks about a lot of the thought process that he goes through, and it was just a really informative video. So that's down below. Also, I have linked Black Magic Crafts video over oil washes, where he does several samples really quickly. So if you're not wanting to watch my entire stream to get to the oil wash part and you just want a quick update on what it is, you can watch his video. He talks about how he does it, and it's very thorough, I think. So anyway, so those are some resources for you if you don't want to just see me kind of playing around, but if you're here just to kind of have a chill day and mess with some miniatures, then continue on this journey with me. All right, so one of the things, I can't get straight where the cameras are. One of the things that Adam said, oh, my camera froze. Please don't. Come on, camera. Okay. This is called a nibbling tool. Here's the package that it came in. And you can definitely see Adam Savage's video where he talks a little bit more. This is just one that I found. So I hope we're still going. I really am looking into some fiber cable or something that will make my internet, because sometimes I feel all right. My camera keeps coming back. We're just gonna continue on. I don't know why. I don't feel like anybody else has as many stream problems as I do. I don't know. Do you watch any other streamers that seem to have such an issue? Is the sound gone? Let me know. Y'all, I don't even know what to do with this stream mess. off again. Okay. We may okay. I don't know if it's that camera that's the problem. So let me see. We'll see if just doing one camera for a few minutes, like, fix it. Maybe it's just like my internet can't handle two cameras. I don't know. Because it did fine for a while. Let me know if the audio is working. Because this is really frustrating because I need... Like, I know, like, I prefer... let's see. Your desktop view is good. The view of you and your sound is what is going out. Oh, it's the face cam. For me, it looks like it's the desk cam. It's the face camera. The desktop movement was normal. Oh, that's interesting because for me, it looked like it was the desk cam. Okay. Okay. Let me... Oh. Okay. All right. Hold on. Stop camera. Okay. Can you see me is the question. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Okay. Let me know if you can see or hear and see. Okay. The minutes are more important than me. So if that's working, there's an echo. Okay. The thing is, I cannot mute my iPad for some reason. It's very annoying. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn it off. Okay. Is that better? The thing is, I cannot see the chat. Let me know if that is better with the echo. Let me go out of this. And maybe I can sign on to YouTube from here and just watch my own stream. Let's see. I don't know if that's possible. We're going to try it, and then I'll be able to see the chat. Oh, but then I'll still hear. Oh, no, I can mute it on here. Okay. Sorry. Thank you, everyone, for being patient. Let's see. Bentley House Minis is live, sort of. A little bit. Echo is gone. Okay. All right. Perfect. Okay. So we're going to try this and see how it works. I can see the chat now because I am watching my own stream. All right. So now we know what the problem is. It is the iPad. Okay. Great. I'm glad we fixed it, although it's frustrating because I don't have face camera. I like having the face camera because I feel like I can talk to y'all, but alrighty. Yes, thank you everyone for having patience. I am not technically minded, I guess, when it comes to this stuff, and usually I'm just trying to do the bare minimum to make it work, and then like I feel like, oh, we'll get fancy and do this, and then it like fails. All right, so what I'm going to do here is I am going to cut out some pieces from this laser cut sheet and start to build a little panel here, which I'm going to try and make sure that you can see. Guessing you forgot to get your husband to glare at the tech. Yeah, he's not here. If he was here, it would be working because it would be scared of him. But he's not here, so. All right, trying to stay center here. Let me figure out where my center is. Because I can tell on the computer my camera is working fine, but over here it's not. I don't know what's going on. All right, let me show you this really cool tool that Adam Savage suggested. It is called a nibbler, and that's when everything started going out. So I'll show you this packaging again so that you can see. It's called a nibbling tool, and it is for metal and plastic. That's where it says metal and plastic. So I figured if it's for metal and plastic, then it should work okay for paper. And it does, because I did test it out a little bit. So it has this like little, like, this is like a little tooth, I guess, a tooth that kind of like chomps down on whatever you put in there. And it makes a 1/8 by 1/16 inch little nibble in the side of whatever you're working on. So if I take this piece right here and I put this into this nibbler, it's just going to nibble, which I think is like the cutest name for something. So I'm just making sure that it's kind of lined up, and then I just squeeze. It goes through very easily. And then I have this little rectangle like so. Hello. Hi, everybody. Welcome, everyone. Yes, welcome to everyone who just arrived. We had some technical issues, but we're up and going. I just don't have a face cam, but we can see the minis, so that's the important part. So we're going with the minis here. All right, so then when I put it on this piece right here, then I have like a little cutout, which later on when I paint it and do the, what I'm trying to say, oil washes. Sorry, I'm all like frazzled from the camera stuff. I'll get myself back together in a second. I'll do the oil washes. It will kind of get into that little groove. It's kind of hard to see on the camera right now, but it'll get into that little groove and it'll make a really cool, like science fiction-y type thing. Now, I do think it makes a cleaner cut if you're using plastic or metal. Adam Savage was using styrene sheets, which is what he likes to use. And he showed this really cool way to use glue, and it kind of goes together really, really quickly. So I do highly suggest Adam's video. So if you want to see a professional do this. So I'm just going to take a pencil, and he suggested kind of lining up your nibbles. I saw someone say put googly, yeah. Put googly eyes on him. I might do that. There's googly eyes on my airbrush compressor. I am just going to kind of line this up because I want to do like a whole like nibble right here. So I'm going to nibble this strip of mat board here. I guess I didn't really have to line that up because I can cut it to size. So then it kind of makes this like cool electronic looking cutout here. What part of the captain's quarters is this for? So I'm making a general electrical panel that will go in the spaceship side of the captain's quarters. So I don't really have like a specific part. So that's why I'm kind of making a general electrical panel. So let's see. I might want to put a nibble inside this part right here. And what's fun about Greebles or Greebles, the word looks like Greebles, but it's pronounced Greebles, is you can just kind of do whatever you like, whatever you think will look cool. And so I can just kind of make these little punches wherever I think they will look okay. And they do come off. I mean, I don't know if I have the same one that Adam Savage had. It comes off a little bit crooked, but this is the first time I'm using it, so maybe I'll get a little bit better at it. I'm not quite sure. So I'm going to go ahead and glue this panel onto this back piece here. And I'm going to use Fabrifix, so hopefully it dries pretty quickly because I do want to do the oil washes on here before the end of the stream, and I'm going to be using acrylic paint to paint the panel. I'm just going to add Fabrifix glue all over, and then we're going to glue it down. I did something similar to this when I did like the panel I made when I was kind of a little bit tired of the project. I made this panel that was just a bunch of different like samples of spaceship looking things. And that was really, really fun. These are fun to create, especially when you have a bunch of scraps. I really like to save my scraps, especially from the laser cutter, because they're just good for making, you can make like little frames, all sorts of things, but Greebles are really fun to make with it. Perfect, because I want to do a panel in my diorama steampunk themed time travel. That is perfect. It would be perfect for steampunk. I'm making a stop motion. I love stop motion. Stop motion is so cool. I tried to do it a while ago. I did just like a couple little practices or like tests on stop motion. It takes so much time. Okay, here we go. I'm going to cut off each side here. And then we'll have a piece to glue on. And then let me glue this on and then I'll hold it up so hopefully you can see it a little bit better. Why does life get chaotic whenever I sit down to watch Ava's live stream? Like everyone needs me right now. I'm sorry. It feels chaotic to me too because the technology went down, but I think it's working now and we're moving forward. So thankfully we got it figured out. Y'all helped me figure it out because to me it looked like this camera that you're looking at now was failing. I didn't realize it was my face camera which was failing. So I will know for next time which one to have my Mr. Technology stare at before he leaves and be like, I need you to stare at that one. So here's how it's looking. Just really simple, went together really quickly just because these were some laser cut pieces. And what Adam Savage shows in his video is that he uses pieces from kits. So if you have a kit, it could be a kit of plastic, kit made with paper, just keep the pieces that you kind of cut off And later on, you can use them to make some kind of panel like this. Bye, Kim. Yeah, I know it's not a great time for my Australian friends. I'm so sorry. How do you keep that glue from flowing out when you stop using it? I have the same kind. I just put it upright. So this is the type of glue that I'm using. I just put it upright. When it's really full, it does just keep coming out of the top. It does do that. But when it's about halfway, it kind of calms down a little bit, and then I just keep it upright. If I do it like this, it will definitely keep coming out. Okay, so I'm going to pull out the Greebles that JD sent me. And these look like they were cast. And they have little buttons and panels. I'm not quite sure what they're cast from. Could be clay. I'm not quite sure. But they have all sorts of little buttons. And it may kind of be hard for you to see the detail on the camera, but it'll be a lot more apparent when I add the oil washes on these. So these are all sorts of little tiny, it looks like communicator type things, buttons, all sorts of things. So I'm going to add some of these into my opening areas, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. We'll kind of build up around it. This one has more of like a speaker type texture inside of it. Everything's white, so it's hard, the camera has a hard time seeing it. Thank you for helping me reignite my love of miniatures. Oh, I'm so glad about that, Leslie. Thank you so much for the super chat. Thank you. It's always in the middle of the night somewhere in the world. It definitely is. I struggle with that a lot. That's why I try to vary up the times when I do things so that I can try to find a time for someone sometime. Yay, hi from Belgium. Or hi to Belgium. Okay, I'm missing some comments. All right, so I'm trying to figure out where I want to put these. They don't all have to be like inside areas, and then we'll kind of fill out the rest of the areas. I don't want to use all of these. I want to save some of them for maybe another area. I might try to cut into them a little bit and see. Okay, so I'm going to try and use like 4 of these, and then we can fill up the other areas as well. So I'm going to put your live stream on making plants on repeat when I make the gazillion plants for Casita. I really enjoyed that live stream, and that'll be cool for Casita. Let's see. Yay, you made it. I have the kind called Fabri-Tac, and I use it to glue Barbie hair onto the scalp. Yeah, this is, I think, the same stuff. It's just called Fabri-Fix, so it has a different name. All right, I'm not quite sure what this is made out of. Oh, it cuts super easy. Okay, I don't know what it's made out of, but it cuts through very easily. So I'm going to just kind of even up the sides of this one a little bit. It looks like maybe they were pressed into molds. And so it's really cool because then you could make as many of them as you need. Let's see. And I'm going to try and sand. Let me find my sandpaper. And this is another reason it's good not to have my camera attached to the table, because when I sand, I'm not going to shake the camera, hopefully. I'm going to sand the back a little bit flatter. These might be paper clay. I'm not quite sure. All right. Yeah, it's sanding really well. So there we go. Might put that one up in the corner. Sand this one. I made so many crayon candles and many books. It's ridiculous. Oh, I need to make some more crayon candles. Those were really, really fun. I enjoyed that project so much. And I do plan, I will make it official because I've thought about it and it's official in my brain, so it's official to y'all. When the captain's quarters is completed, I am going to do another cardboard house. So it is in the plans. I cannot wait. I have saved up so much cardboard that you wouldn't even believe it. It's just everywhere. And so I'm excited for that. I'm excited to do the captain's quarters justice, of course. I don't want to like speed through it or anything, but that is the next big thing that's going to happen after the captain's quarters is another cardboard house. So I'm super excited. All right, so I think I'm going to kind of do them like so. And I'm going to go ahead and glue them on. What are them? They are little greebles that a subscriber casted and sent to me for use in the captain's quarters. So I think they could be paper clay. By the ease of how they are sanding, I think they are paper clay, but then there's kind of a glaze on top of them. So yeah. So they're pretty easy to kind of trim up the sides and then sand them down and then glue them places. So I'm just going to glue these in. And then we will continue making a few more little lines. Let's see what time it is. Spent a lot of time just trying to fix the stream, so. Yay, cardboard house. Yeah, I'm excited to do another cardboard house. What I want to do is my plan is to reuse and build on top of the original cardboard house and just kind of continue building, but totally change the theme. So it's going to have all new furniture. It's going to have a whole new story. It's going to have I'm like already in my brain. I'm just like so excited. Because, the cardboard house is all about reusing. And I thought, wouldn't it be cool if you could like reuse a dollhouse, because a lot of people enjoy making projects, but when they make it, it's like, okay, well, now I have this house. I want to make a new one, but I don't really want to get rid of this one. I don't know what to do with it. So I thought it'd be cool if we could just reuse the cardboard house and be really creative in giving it new life, making a new design for it. All right, so I'm just going to cut out, I don't know, maybe a couple of these. These were the handles and the labels for, these were the handles and the labels for the cabinet. So you can kind of see how I cut these out. So I'm going to try and reuse these. Let's see. I'm probably really behind on the chat because of the way I'm having to see the chat. So sorry if I'm missing stuff. Rachel's been helping me see stuff. Yes, cardboard is super versatile. I love using cardboard. It's like one of my favorite materials now. Okay, so I'm going to put one of these. Can y'all still see me? Okay, kind of. I'm trying to keep. Oh, I didn't even show you the panel with the custom greebles on there. So let me show you those. So they kind of look like little communicator type things that can be pulled off maybe. So they definitely give it a little bit more depth. All right, so now I'm going to add this piece. Trying to get it stuck on really good. New project sounds great. Love this one and so happy to watch your live stream for the first time. Perfect time for Sweden. 5 p.m. on a Friday. That is like the perfect time of the week. Thank you for spending it with me. It's about 10:40 here. So I will be having lunch right after the stream. Yeah, for anyone who's coming in, we're making greebles. Greebles are the complicated looking panels they make for the sides or the just any kind of like spaceship themed projects. It looks like on my camera you can maybe see the details of what I'm putting on there. Okay, I think I'm going to make some long pieces that go here. Cut these out. Just making long strips of paper here. Oh, I want to use my nibbler. Let me cut these out and then I'll use the nibbler again. It's a really fun little tool. What else can I nibble with this tool? So I have these two little strips that I cut out here. And I'm going to use the nibbler tool to cut into them. Just going to cut kind of in a random spot or nibble. I'm nibbling in a random spot. And then I'll do that to another random spot. Kind of go like that. And then I'm going to do another one close to this edge. No rhyme or reason, just for fun. Now I'm just kind of playing around with where they're at. So those are scientific themed. They can be anything really. Yeah, you can just kind of make up your own patterns and reasonings behind it. I was wondering about using both. I'm making a medieval tavern. Oh, that's cool. All right, so I am going to glue these on. And glue this other one on. Because I do want to get a coat of paint on this pretty quickly, and then we can kind of mess with the filing cabinet. There we go. The filing cabinet for Beetlejuice. If I had that tool, I would just sit with a piece of paper and just have at it. It's very satisfying, I will say. It's very satisfying to cut through paper. I don't know if you're using like metal, how hard it is, but it is very, very easy to chomp through. Very satisfying, I will say. I can totally see just like sitting down and watching a movie and just like chomping away at a billion pieces of mat board because it's fun. And I think it was maybe like I don't know, I want to say $16 tool. So it really wasn't. I mean, unless you're going to use it a lot, I can see like that would be kind of an expensive tool to just have if you weren't going to be making some kind of science fiction project. But I was wondering if it could also be like, I don't know, useful in other ways, like creating tabs. If you're trying to put two pieces together and kind of like dovetail joints, but you know, they would be just rectangular. So I don't know, there's probably a lot of different ways that you could use them. So now I have all these little nibbler cutouts. They're a little bit torn up. I wish they were a little bit cleaner, and then I could probably put them in this area, but they look a little bit torn up, so I'm probably not going to be using those. Turns up volume to try and hear Ara over snoring dog. Stormy's asleep too. She's sleeping. Which is good, because a lot of times she kind of takes over the stream with barking, and then I have to mute myself. All right, I think I might add, I have this like little piece that kind of got cut off, so I might add that and see how that goes. That's interesting. Okay. I wish I had grabbed a pair of scissors. Do I have scissors up here? Nope, no scissors. I'm just gonna have to hand cut this with the blade. And then hopefully that will kind of fit down in there. Again, it's just kind of random, and I should have, now it's stuck in there. Okay, I got it. See. Oh, to put pieces together, great idea for nibbler uses. I think it would be fun to try. Just see if like, okay, I'm building a drawer. Let me see if I can, you know, make, I don't know if it would make accurate enough cuts. I'm not quite sure. So I just added that piece right there. So I don't know if you can see that. So basically you kind of start with bigger pieces, and then you kind of go smaller and smaller and just add things in to get more and more detail. I think I'm going to go get a circle punch so we can add some buttons. So I'll be right back. Okay, so I have a couple circle punch options here. I have plenty of scrap cardstock. So I'm just going to punch out a few circles. So we have some of these. And these are cool that you can just kind of like glue them on to give a little bit of detail, or you can double them up to make a little bit of a thicker button. Or if I'm doing some bigger circles and then some smaller circles, then I can kind of put them on top. These punches are kind of old, so they're getting harder to punch through. Okay, so now I have a bunch of circles. Let me find something. Oh gosh. Okay, let me tell you about this tool. I've talked about it before. This is a tool that comes from, well, I got it when I got my Silhouette Cameo, which was like years and years and years ago. And this is called the Pick Me Up, and it has what is kind of the same consistency on the end of it. It's kind of like tacky, like the wall tack that you use to put up poster boards and stuff. And it helps you like pick up little tiny pieces. And so whenever I'm doing circles, I really like to have this ready to go. And then I usually get like a little scrap piece. And I'm going to use, instead of Fabri-Tac, not good for this. I'm going to use tacky glue, which is right here. Ara, add another piece of thin paper behind what you punch. Sometimes punches need more heft to punch good as they age. Oh, that's a good tip. I didn't know that. You would think it wouldn't. It would be more difficult because you're adding more, but it's good to try. I have tried punching through aluminum foil. I haven't done it with these in a while, so I will have to try that. You want to see my hole punch drawer? I'll have to do a hole. There's more than one. There's definitely more than one. We'll have to do a hole punch tour at some point. All right, so I'm just going to be adding these circles. Sometimes I do have to use my fingernail. I got a little bit too much glue on that one. So I'm using tacky glue for this. If you get too much glue, it doesn't want to kind of settle down. You just want a little bit of glue. It's easier to set it in place when you're doing just like a tiny bit of glue. And then with tacky glue, it's easier to kind of move it around to make sure you have it where you want it. You would like to see that too? Let me see. I'm afraid to touch my camera setup right now, but I will keep that in mind. I may have to do that because I do have quite a few. I will admit, I have a hole punch hoard, I would say, but they come in handy. I don't not use them, and I have gotten rid of a few, to be honest. So it's not even as many as I've ever owned. But I have picked them up at estate sales. I've picked them up at garage sales because sometimes people like start crafting and they just decide that it's not for them, but they invested a lot of, money, or they just got a lot of one thing because they thought they were excited about something and then they ended up not being excited about it. So estate sales and garage sales, you can find, I just stuck my finger in the glue. You can find a lot of craft stuff. Take the end off your quick stick tool. Take the end off your quick stick tool and use it in place of your nail. Oh, that's what I just did. In my brain was just like clicked, like, oh, that's probably would be better. Now I lost, oh, there it is. I put it right there. So I put some of the smaller ones. I'm going to put some in the center here, and I might put some over here. If you use it, then it's not hoarding, says every crafter ever. I agree. I use it. I did get rid of quite a few things, donated it, gave it to some other crafters that I just wasn't using, because I think when you're a miniaturist, you have to, you end up having a lot of supplies, right? Because there's so many things you want to make. There's fabrics and wood and clay and all sorts of stuff. And so you end up becoming like this person who has like every craft ever known because you want to make it in miniature. And but that can become overwhelming. So you have to kind of know like what all I need, how much I need of it, and then kind of trim from there. So I put 2 littles and 1 big one there. I love finding gold, craft stuff, and whatever else looks good. Okay, I think I'm going to put just a few more circles in the middle, and then maybe we can go ahead and do a base layer of paint. So because I do want this to go in the captain's quarters, but I don't want to get like too detailed yet because I don't know where it's going. And if I want to add more details later, I want to make sure I leave room to do that. Where do I want to put this? Maybe here? Maybe here? It's not coming off. You can do it. Come on. This one likes my pick-me-up tool better than now I lost it. Well, that one's gone forever. Okay, let me punch another one. I lost it. For my next live stream, I want to do needle felting. And I have a feeling that one is going to be addicting, and I'm going to end up with a lot of felt. I just have a feeling. I know it's coming. I can see the how it's going to play out in my mind already. Okay, I think someone else was, I can't remember who it was, said take the other end off your pick-me-up tool. Is this what you were talking about? Because I didn't know this could come out, and then it just hit my brain that maybe you were saying that this piece comes out. That's so cool. I didn't even know that. Under my thumbnail. I need to do my nails so bad. I'm losing things in my unkempt nails. There's like some I don't know where it went. Got lost, y'all, but that's so cool. Needle felting is addicting. Just don't buy too much colors. You can color it with pastels. Oh, that's good. I have pastels. I have plenty of that. Okay, I'm just going to do a few more of these here. I should have left this out. That's so cool. Okay, I'm going to be using this more and more. I don't think I have a link for this. I'm pretty sure Silhouette probably still sells these. There's probably other places that sell them as well. But yeah. It's on the desk near the pencil. Okay. Yeah, I get everything just ends up going all over the place when I'm making these. I like to stay as organized as I can, but when I'm in the middle of creating something, it's just mass chaos, and then I'll organize it a little bit more afterwards. I feel like I want to put a little circle up here. I just need to leave this piece out. There we go. All right, I think I'm just going to put a little circle there. I can add more buttons and things and paint them a little bit later, but I want to do the base with an oil wash. And so that means that we need to go ahead and paint it, so I can do that during the live stream. I lost the lid to my pick-me-up tool. There it is. All right, so I'm going to put that to the side. I'm going to show you our finished base panel. Now, more can always be added to this. So this is just kind of going to be my base. And then I can always add like some others over here that are a different color. And so yeah, just quick and easy little panel. And thank you, JD, for these additions, because that's really cool to have like these 3D pieces that are on it. So yeah, that's why I'm really enjoying, Rachel said, I love how everybody helps and teaches each other. That's why I'm really enjoying doing this trying things series on a live stream, because there are just so many arts and crafts and techniques out there that people use in miniatures. Like it's very difficult to be a master of them all, but you can be a master of few of them. So, you know, whenever I am working on something and we have a chat, chances are there's going to be someone who's done something that I'm doing much more than I have, and will have, you know, a great viewpoint or a great, you know, set of tips to help me at least get started in the right direction. All right, I am going to grab some acrylic paint. So I'm doing acrylic paint, so hopefully this dries pretty quickly and I can go put it under the fan. But then after we get this drying, we can try an acrylic wash on the filing cabinet. So I'm super excited about that. All right, here we go. I'm just going to paint the whole thing with a flat coat of gray and hopefully get it. Trying not to have too many paint bubbles because I want it to dry pretty quickly. May have to do 2 coats, so we'll check back. But soon we're going to start mixing oil washes. And we'll take our time with that, just so I can try to explain what I'm doing as best as I can. But of course, I still have the Black Magic Crafts video linked. So if you want if you want an edited video with more experienced explanations, you can definitely go there. I'm just going to paint this up. And let's see. Hi, Zachary. I am doing good. Once we got the technology working, I am doing good. We are just making a little panel that eventually will go into the captain's quarters. So super excited about that. Just about everything can translate into miniature. I want to try miniature weaving. Oh, that'll be really cool. You can get the silhouette pick-me-up on Amazon, $17-ish, or you can get a pick-me-up and other few tools in a pack at Michael's for around $20. Oh, that's a good deal. And I'm sure there's probably generics of that tool as well. I don't think I have a link on my tools list to it. I probably should add one because it's a pretty helpful tool, especially when you're doing like really small things like this. And, you know, because our fingers are oftentimes larger than what we're working on. So it's nice to have some help with those little bitty tiny pieces. All right, I'm trying to get a good coat of paint on here, and I'm trying to check out any comments that I might see. All right, let's get the gray all around the edges in all the little nibbles. And this would probably be a good piece to airbrush, but I just didn't get the airbrush set up for today. So I'm just going to do painting with a paintbrush, and that should work just fine as well. All right. Oops. Okay, so y'all, I got a haircut. And because my hair is short, I'm still shedding, essentially. Because, you know, they use the clippers and everything. And I know my face cam like went out today, but I did get a haircut, and it's just still, I need to get all the hairs like off. If you have short hair, you know what I'm talking about. For a while, I didn't understand why my son like hated haircuts, because he's, you know, I grew up always having long hair, and so it was never really that big of a deal when you went to get your hair cut. But, you know, I realized when you have short hair, you get all these little hairs like down your back and like down your neck, and it just like you have to immediately like take a shower after you get a haircut. You have to. All right, so this is what we've got as far as the gray. I've tried to make sure that I don't have any like paint lumps anywhere that are going to get in our way. And then we're going to let this dry. You can, the Black Magic Craft video, he said that you can do like a finish on top of it and then do the oils. I'm just going to do the oil straight on top of the acrylic, which I think is what he did also. So here we go. I think that's looking all right. Molting. Yes, I feel like I'm molting. Okay, so I'm going to kind of go put this under the fan and turn the fan on, and then we can mess with the filing cabinet. All right. So it's going to be a little bit hard to show you everything since I only have one camera, but I have my acrylic paint over here. So I'm keeping all of my acrylic paint stuff separate from my oil paint stuff. And my oil paint is all on this side of the desk. And I'm trying to keep that separate because you kind of want to keep, you know, oil and water don't mix. So we're trying to keep them separated. So I have here a few paints that are traditional oil paints, and these are ones that I used in college. I have actually 2 boxes of oil paints because I have my husband's grandmother's oil paints, and they're actually kind of falling apart. Like the tubes are falling apart, but the oil paint is still good. And so like I have a hard time getting rid of oil paints because they're expensive. But these are traditional oil paints. I've actually started using water mixable oil paints, so I'll show you those too. Hold on one second. So these are the water mixable oil paints that I ended up getting. This is probably one of the cheapest sets that you can probably get. They still work, but they're pretty affordable if you're wanting to do water mixable, because you know, this way you can just use water. You don't have to use any of this more toxic type stuff that you have to be really careful with. So this is a Reeves, R-E-E-V-E-S. See if I can show you. I can't tell on my screen if you can see that or not, but it says We Are Reeves, and then here is the website. So you can just kind of mix these with water, but they don't dry as fast because there is oil in the paint. You can also mix these with oil, with mineral spirits and oils, and you can kind of use them as traditional oil paints as well. So the biggest difference I'm going to tell you that I have found as someone who's used both is that traditional oil paints are very smooth, and when you mix them with things, you get a very even, they're very even and smooth, and I'm not sure what I'm trying to say, but anyway, when you do the water mixable oil, they can get really chunky and kind of grainy. So anyway, so these you can still use as oil paints, but you can tell the difference. There is a difference between the two. So, all right, let's see if I'm missing some comments. Yes, okay, so what we're going to be making the wash with is this odorless mineral spirits. And you can still wear a mask if you like, if you're really sensitive to that. In Black Magic Craft's video, he used gloves, but gloves are not necessary. Just make sure that you know, if you get some on your fingers, you get it off pretty quickly if you have like just skin sensitivities. So I'm using odorless mineral spirits. This is going to be the base that we're going to mix our color into. And I'm going to try to mix both oil and the water mixable oil and see how they both work, because I'm curious. So I'm going to be using these tiny little cups because I don't want to mix too much. It really doesn't take that much, and I don't have big pieces. So let me pull, we're going to be first trying it on my little filing cabinet. If you're new to the stream, I made this as kind of like a test for Miss Argentina's office in the Beetlejuice project, but it's too big. I need to kind of make a faux front, but I thought it would be fun to try and make this cabinet look old with the oil washes. So let's see. Go. Oil paints are simply forbidden yogurt tubes. It is fun to oil paint. I highly suggest, you know, trying it out if you want to. You can really just start with a couple of colors and make like a two-toned painting to see if you even like it. So you do not have to buy a whole set of oil paints to just try it, in my opinion. When I did my classes in college, we did do just some two-tone paints. So I'm going to put this odorless mineral spirits in a cup. Oh, and I'm going to make a mess. So let me do this a little bit better. Okay, this does not want to pour very well. I'll have to clean that up. Okay, let me clean that up real quick. But we did assignments all the time that were use two colors, just use two colors and white essentially, and then make something with those two colors, or make a painting with those colors. All right, so that was dumb on my part to pour that on top of things I have on my desk. So, whoops. All right, this is the first time I've tried this, so I'm trying not to make a mess, but I'm failing horribly. All right, this stuff will evaporate, so that's good. It will evaporate, but I don't want to leave it just sitting on my desk. And then you can put any oil-soaked rags or anything in like a little jar. And put that to the side. Okay. All right. Yes, the mineral spirits will make it dry faster, so that is good. Okay, I'm going to do one. Try and make sure I get everything on camera. I'm going to do one with the traditional oil, and I'm going to do one with the water mixable. So let me see what color options we have. I'm thinking, because the cabinet's already blue, that's not going to be good. We could do like a brown or a purple, and with the water mixable, we could do a black, or sorry, that's gray, Payne's gray. I do have black. Let's see, what else do we have here? Of course, I'm always going for browns and stuff, but what do you think? Let's see. Hi, everybody. The stream is making my day better. Went to the dentist thinking I need one filling. Nope, 4. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. Have to go back next week to get them done. I hope it is quick and as painless as possible for you. Dentist stuff is, yeah. Sorry. Let's see. Green. Oh, I have green. Do we want to try green? Because there are green lights. We could try green. So we could do maybe like a green in the traditional oil. And this is a darker brown than this. So maybe we could do brown in this, in the water mixable. Okay. So maybe we'll try the green. This sweater I have on has like really like floopy sleeves. That's not a word. But trying to keep it out of the stuff. Okay, so we're going to try that. Let me sort this. Okay. All right. So you want, when you're dealing with oil paints and acrylic paints, you want to keep your brushes separate. And this is from like a painting viewpoint. But if you're just like mixing up like washes, I don't think it matters as much. Oil paints, you want more natural fibers. And with acrylics, you can do more like nylons and stuff like that. But that's just from a painting viewpoint. So I try to keep my oil painting brushes, which as you can see look like this. They are separate from my craft brushes, which look like this. So you can definitely see like a difference in how they are taken care of, but it can be a lot easier to clean these, in my opinion, or I'm just more focused on cleaning them because I'm painting. I'm in the painting process. So instead of like the building process. All right. So I have seen people put this on like cardboard to get some of the oil out. I don't think it's necessary, but I've never done this before, so this may be a huge mistake. But I'm not going to get out too much. So I am just going to push out, like a little bit goes a long way. So I'm just going to push out just a tiniest bit of this green oil paint. And I'll put the lid back on before I make another mess. And I am going to move this mineral spirits out of my way. It was sitting right by my arm. And then I am just going to mix it up in this mineral spirits. I'm going to try and get all around the edge so I don't have any chunks of oil color. I just literally have a wash, and it mixes so beautifully. I don't really know if you can see that. Very, very beautifully. There's no chunks or anything in there, which with acrylic paint, it's very difficult to get everything mixed in, to be honest. So get a paper towel to kind of, I don't have to completely clean off my brush in between mixing. I just kind of put it on paper towel. Keep that to the side. And then I'm going to do the brown water soluble oil paint, which can also be used with traditional oil items. So I'm going to do a little bit more. Let's see. I thought about adding a couple central fixtures in my space. My husband mentioned recessed lighting. Oh, are you working on your craft space? I'm missing the conversation as usual. And this one is not mixing as easily, but it is still mixing. I am still getting a wash, but a lot of it's clumping onto my brush. And I think it's just, the notion of a water mixable oil is just not going to be the same as an oil paint because you're kind of messing with science. Water and oil is not supposed to go together. Okay, so we have both of our washes here. I think I'm going to try the green one on the filing cabinet. So I'm going to put the brown one somewhere where I cannot dump it over, because I am apparently really good at that. So I'll put that over there and move so this is our traditional oil paint. So if you do want to try this, you can get a small tube. If you just want to do like a black wash or something, you can just get one tube and try it, and that'll kind of save you money to see if you think it's worth it or if you want to continue to do that. I think I'm going to put this on top of some paper. Nah. If it gets on my mat, it's okay. We'll just clean it up. All right, so this is my first try at trying these oil washes, and we'll just kind of see how it goes. The nice thing about it is it doesn't dry as fast as acrylics, so you can kind of wipe it off if you feel like you get too much. So I'm just going to kind of, I guess, cover everything with it and see how it goes. I do have actual paper in here, so the paper is going to soak it up a little bit differently than the filing cabinet would. I think I might need a bit more green oil in the oil wash, so let me do that real quick. I'm going to put a little bit more in so it's a bit darker. Let's see. I have an artist sister that found a way to blend oil and acrylic, but I've never asked her how she did it. Oh, wow. I know you can do acrylic paint first and then do oil on top, but you cannot do oil paint first and then acrylic on top. It does not work. Are you still doing the mini house submissions for the Beetlejuice project? Yes, I am. I probably have enough to fill up the attic diorama. I haven't selected which ones are going to be on the attic diorama yet, but I do know I probably have enough. But if you do still want to submit one, I'm planning to add them just kind of around the house, and I'll probably do like a dedicated Beetlejuice diorama house display somewhere on the base somewhere. Okay, so I added a little bit more, so it's a little bit more pigmented. You can see it kind of on the top there. It's definitely darker. I don't know if this is the right miniature to even try this on, but I thought it would be fun. Just kind of cover everything It'll look like a nice moldy cabinet by the time we're done with it. And there probably will be some green light spilling into Miss Argentina's space. So, see, I'm not quite sure how to apply it really to like flat surfaces, because a lot of times I've seen it used, it's just filling in the crevices. So it'll be interesting to see if it like how it does on the surface. I'm not quite sure. So we're just experimenting now. We'll see how it goes. Let's see. I've tossed about 10 mini houses cuts because they were horrid. Can't get one that doesn't look horrible. Oh, I'm sure they look great. I've seen so many people who like were like not liking their house, and then I get it and it's like amazing. And like I know we're all like our own worst critics on things. And we have like this vision in our head of what we want. So you never know. It may be amazing, but you can't see it yet. You need someone else to see it and let you know. All right. So I put some green wash on there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of dab at the surface with the paper towel. Let's see. No, they were bad. Even Hub said, what is that? Well, I do take my husband's opinions of my miniatures pretty seriously. And so I will ask him sometimes, I'm like, what do you think? Like knowing in my head that there's something I should fix, but I just don't feel like it. And I'm trying to see if he notices like what's wrong with it or what needs to be fixed. And he finds it pretty quickly. He'll be like, this is wrong. I'm like, oh, yeah, it is. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of dab at the top and remove some of it. And it kind of gives this like mottled look. I'm not quite sure if you can really tell. See, always try first at the bottom or the back. Yeah, that would be a good idea. I'm just kind of playing around. I'm not too worried because this isn't actually going in the project. This was kind of my test. So I'm just kind of dabbing at it, and it does kind of give it like a moldy look a little bit. It's interesting. All right, so I'm going to go on the side. And then I know you can just kind of drag it as well, which kind of makes it look like there are like bits kind of sliding down. Like maybe there was like a water leak or something. I probably want to be consistent on the whole thing though. I don't know. I kind of like the drags in it though. It probably, I'm guessing this will work a little bit more on the greeble panel when we get it done. But we might try a little bit of the brown wash and see how that goes. But I'm not quite sure if you can tell on camera, because I can't see very well from here, how that's looking. So can y'all tell? The people are moldy in the netherworld, so it makes sense the files would be too. I think so. I think it's interesting to like do the aging with a color, like instead of a neutral, because I like to use browns and blacks and things like that. But it is interesting to see it with like a color aged. Let's try the brown. Let's see how the brown looks. It can really only add to the story of our little cabinet here. I think I am going to go ahead and add more brown, because I needed to add more green, and there's more mineral spirits in here. So, and if you are using mineral spirits, I read that you can, so once I'm done with these two things, I can put these mineral spirits into a jar together and just kind of let it sit like in a glass jar with a lid. and then all the pigments and all the paint will go to the bottom, and I can pour off the clean spirits from the top, and they can be reused. So you don't have to just like throw away your mineral spirits if you're done with the wash. Just let them sit in a glass jar with a lid so that, you know, it's safe from anybody getting into it or dumping it over, and then let the paint settle, and then you can reuse it. So, all right, so I'm going to try the brown. We shall see. Hi, Ava, is this for a specific project? I made the filing cabinet as kind of a test for the Beetlejuice project, but earlier we made a greeble panel for the captain's quarters. So we're just kind of doing a bit of everything today. So I'm just going to very specifically put the brown around the edges and let that kind of go into all the corners, because what I really want is I want it to get into this area right here between the drawers so that there's a very defined, sorry, it sounds like Stormy's doing something, but she's in her bed being good. So I was about to blame her for, I don't know, it must be windy outside. It sounds like something's outside. I don't even remember what I was saying, but oh, we're wanting to make definition. So I'm trying to get the brown inside the drawer area. And I kind of like how it's puddling at the bottom here. So you could add this and just like let it sit for forever. Or you could dab it off. So I just don't think this brown has enough pigment in it right now, but you can just kind of work up to it as well. So I'm trying to figure out where to put my brush without making a huge mess. Yeah, I mean, it's fun. It's fun to play with it. You just have to kind of be careful because you just don't want to get mineral spirits everywhere like I just did. Oh my goodness. You can do like little spots at the top. Yeah, I think I need more. I need more brown. Okay, let me get some more brown in here. I want to make it darker. We're testing it out. Let's go for it. Adding moss landscape material at the edges of the cabinet would be fun. Yeah, and I want to put little papers sticking out, which, you know, I can mold. I can put mold on the papers as well. All right. Oh, and I did want to say earlier when I was talking about the mineral spirits, you don't want to put it down the drain. So make sure you're not pouring it down the drain into your water system wherever you live. So put it into a jar, and if you don't want it anymore, you don't want to reuse it, you need to do like the hazardous waste removal, like you would do a spray paint or leftover house paint. Or you can just reuse it, which seems like what I would prefer, for me at least. When I'm through, I put the lid on to save my spirits. Yeah, I have, we eat a lot of pesto, so I have pesto jars. I end up with a lot of pesto jars. So I don't know if it is the water mixable paint that's just not very pigmented. I'm not quite sure. This is definitely better. It's definitely looking a little bit better. Let me see if I can find a brown oil paint. Well, I have this. Some of my paints are just so old that I'm scared that if I take the lid off, I saw a magnet in one of the comments. If I take the lid off, I won't be able to get it back on. Magnets are a must. Yeah, the magnets work so great in dollhouses. See, I'm not sure if I can get this off. It's been years. And as you can see, like the lids start popping off. I don't know if it's just this paint, but that happens so often with my old paints. I don't know if it's pressure or what. The lids just pop open. I got it. All right. Let's mix in a little bit of this and see if this kind of helps our color. Because maybe it's just the fact that I'm using water mixable paints. I don't know. What do you do to increase the definition of a piece if you're working on a not grungy scene and you don't want it to look dirty? That is a good question. Let me think. Say I don't do that super often. You can still do some of the same techniques. So I will show you with the Greebles panel. Whenever we're ready to do that, I will show you the Greebles panel. You can get it into the cracks and crevices, which will give more definition, but you just end up wiping most of it off. So let me show you on the top here. This should all still be wet paint. So if you know it got into the edges where you wanted it to be, you just go back and clean it off of everything except the edges. And now this is back to the blue. There's no more green paint. It all came off because this is an oil wash and not an acrylic. So it came off. So technically, except for these little tiny paper inserts, I should be able to wipe all the paint back off of this cabinet if I decide I don't want it. I can take it off the sides, I can take it off the drawer fronts and remove it because it's oil paint and not acrylic paint. It is coming off of the, I did a spray gloss on the finish. It's coming off of that a lot easier than some of the, like the handles are not spray glossed, but I still can get a lot of it off. So this would probably be a pretty good method if you wanted to get more definition in like your drawer cracks, like I'm trying to do here. But then you can wipe it off of the rest of your project so it still looks nice and clean. So, all right. So this oil paint like really changed the color here, which means I'm guessing that my oil paint, my traditional oil paint is a lot, just a lot higher quality than my water mixable, which I knew that to begin with. So if you're going to try this, I'd probably go with the actual, wow, you can see the pigment on that like immediately. The actual oil paint is going to be a lot better for this than the water mixable. I just wanted to try it out since I had both. Might as well, you know, give it a test and see how it worked. But it is so much more pigmented with the traditional oil paint. So if I was doing a clean piece that wasn't, you know, a dirty old filing cabinet, then I would just dab the oil paint in these little creases. Like, I don't know if you can tell on camera, but it just kind of runs along the side. And I'd probably do it like this. I'd lay it flat. Let me get on camera here. Lay it flat, let it run all the way around. And I'm not sure about this because I haven't tested it, but Black Magic Craft said that you could let it sit for about an hour. And what that does is it allows your paint to start taking hold. And then once it's taken hold after about an hour, you just go back and you wipe it off of the surfaces. If you do it before an hour, the paper towel will start absorbing the oil that's in the cracks and crevices. Y'all are so helpful and nice. Thank you. I'm a noob. Sorry for all the questions. We enjoy questions here, Shauna. I'm so glad people have been helping in the comments. So we have a great comment section. Yes, oil washes do seem to be a lot more forgiving. And because it's oil and not water, you're not going, if you're working with paper like I do a lot of the time, you're not going to have to worry about warp because it's not going to warp your paper. There we go. That was the word. So I'm going to dirty this top back up a little bit. Of course, the top has to have the most grunge, right? In my opinion. I'm going to kind of let it go down the side. So I'm letting it drip down the side a little bit. I kind of want to like do a lot here and just see how long it takes for it to dry, because I like to do a lot of drips with my acrylics. So I'm kind of interested to see how that all looks and works. And, you know, I'll probably keep this piece, even though this is just not going into the Beetlejuice house, just kind of my first try at it. You know, I always keep these things that I'm working on, and then it might go into something else. You can get a ghost layer with acrylic if your item has a tad bit of tooth to it. You can wipe it with turpentine. I found that out years ago while trying to remove the acrylic years ago. Yeah, you can definitely. I think this is supposed to remove paint. Yeah, it's a good brush cleaner. If you have like some really gnarly brushes, this is why it's a little bit easier to clean oil brushes, because it doesn't dry as fast and this stuff cleans it up really good. All right, so I think we're ready to check out our Greeble panel. I'm just gonna dab this a little on the top. Kind of looks like it's starting to go camouflage up here. But we'll put this to the side, and I'll probably do a post on something somewhere, Instagram maybe, about how this turns up once I let it sit. Blackmagic Crafts said about 24 hours. I'll be interested to see. I've put a little bit extra here on top, and I'm just gonna wait and see how long this whole thing takes to kind of solidify, where I'm not worried about it coming off on my fingers. So I'm gonna put this to the side, and then I'm gonna go get our Greeble panel, and we can see how that works. All right. So our acrylic paint has dried. Yep, it's all dried, so that is perfect. I think, let's see. I think I want to do, what do I want to do? I don't know. Did I pull out black? I think I want to do some black on here, and I'm just going to add it into this one that we've already created, but I want to try to darken it up. So I'm going to add some water mixable, because traditional oil paints do not come with black, and you have to kind of mix your own black, which I think is, I don't know, I think at some point it was like a status symbol in oil painting if you could mix black, or if your blacks were really impressive. I'm not quite sure. So, oh, and I just spilled it all over. Sometimes it's a little oily at the top. That's okay. We're about to put oil all over the panel. Nothing lost here. It's all right. We're about to kind of grunge it up anyway. Okay, so let me try this again. There's a little bit of oil at the top where the paint's coming out. I'm just going to let that drip into here. But anyway, all that to say, there's no black in a traditional set of oil paints. But I like to have black because, I don't know. I like to have it just because it's easier than trying to mix your own blacks. Need your tube. I've actually never done that before. I guess that would probably make sense. All right. So I'm going to try and make this a little bit darker with the water mixable acrylic, or water mixable oil. Although we did learn that doesn't seem to mix as well as the traditional oil. It is looking darker. I may have to add quite a bit in there. This is all an experiment. There actually is black oil paint now. Yeah, I have seen that, like, they make it, but I feel like it doesn't come in most traditional sets. You have to kind of buy it separately, or you have to kind of add it to your cart. If you're buying a traditional set, you have to add black. My grandma got me started on acrylic when I was 8. Still don't use oils, although I inherited those from hers. I do feel like acrylics are a lot more accessible and like easier to just pick up and start painting. Like I feel like if I'm going to paint with oils, there's like so much more like prep, and I don't know, it feels like a whole different process for sure. All right. It's not going to be a complete black wash, but it's going to be darker than it was. So mixed black is a richer color for doing paintings, but maybe not necessary for washes. Yeah, that's what I like. I have mixed my own blacks, and it is kind of interesting because if you're using like a set color palette for your painting, your blacks are typically made of the colors that are in your color palette for the painting. So it works a lot better with your painting. So I understand. Yeah, I definitely think that there's merit to that. But yeah, for doing like a wash, it's just easier to already have the color you want and mix it into the mineral spirits. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to basically cover this entire panel with the wash, and then I will be kind of wiping it off. I'm not quite sure how it's going to grab on because there's not a finish on this. It's just acrylic paints. So that'll be another test. We'll see how it goes. But you'll see it kind of just fills in all the gaps and really starts to bring out the details. So I'm just going to cover everything. And a pretty generous coat, I would say. It is a bit messy, so make sure you've got your work area kind of covered up, or or at least you're working on a mat that you're okay with getting a little bit messy. I do think I'll probably still dry brush with acrylics, because I don't really see a benefit in dry brushing with oils because acrylics just dry so much faster. But I don't know, maybe there is a benefit to it. All right, I keep looking for water to stick my brush in, and you just I don't have a mineral spirits thing set up. All right, so I'm going to take my paper towel, and I'm just going to start kind of wiping away at the very surface to remove some of the oil wash. And I think I would probably be picking up more of it if I had like a finish coat on it, but we don't have time for that to dry. So I'm just kind of taking away the top layer. You can kind of see how the gray is starting to come back, and it's leaving the oil in the oil wash in all the little crevices. And you could kind of do this in like layers. So you could do like a really light wash first of like brown, and then if you want it to add, we might add some green and just see how it goes. I don't know, I'm just playing around with it to see what kind of effects we can get. It definitely does make it look old and grungy. And I'm not having to worry about it warping my whole panel or, affecting my glued pieces because it's not water. So that is really nice. So I'm getting a grungy effect here. Let's see. Are you making the run over tire guy from the Netherworld? If so, where will he swing by people on his track in your underworld rooms? If I make him, there's kind of a small hallway that goes where all my electrical stuff will be, my wiring. So if I do make him, he might kind of hang out in there so that if people get curious and look back there, and I want them to be distracted from the wires and all the panels and stuff, I might put him back there. We'll see. All right, so that's kind of my first layer with the brown. you can just kind of move it around. Since it doesn't dry for so long, you can kind of pick up places where you want it to be, where you don't want it to be. Like so. All right, so let's put some green on, but maybe just like on one side. Let's try that. All right, I just got paper towels everywhere. Figuring out where to hide wires is a pain, but yep. I'm gonna actually have to do a wire plan pretty soon, and I'll try and show that on YouTube of how I'm going to do it. I don't know if it's the right way to do it, but I'll show you how I'm going to do it. Because I'm really having a hard time like keeping up with how many lights I'm gonna need for each space. So I'm gonna have to start figuring that out soon. All right, so I think I'm just going to start dabbing it here and there. I'm not gonna do the whole panel, but just a few places to maybe make it look like maybe some mold, or maybe just like some tarnishing has started to happen, because maybe there's like some copper mixed in. I'm not quite sure. So I'm just going to do a few places. I'm not going to do everywhere. I've been on a conference call and missed the painting part. Is oil paint good for the kits I have from you? I have never painted one of my kits with oil paint, to be honest. But I think it probably would work because it's paint, and it would be less likely that it would warp the paper, because my kits are all made from paper. So I don't know. It might be a good thing for me to test out and see how it works, and then I can let people know if you have oil paints. You can use them, but I haven't tried it, so I can't definitively say yes or no. You just have to wait longer for your paints to dry, because oils just take forever to dry. You can get like a drying agent and mix it into you can mix it into your oil paint, which makes the oil paint dry faster, but it's still not guaranteed to dry super fast. All right, so now I'm just kind of playing around to see how much I want to pull up and how much I want to stay on the panel. Not sure. I think I want to get it all off of here. Let me grab another paper towel. Paper towels are getting messy. Also, we can try and make a rusty color. We might be able to make one out of the brown that I have. I'm gonna try and get it off all this side. I think you still get like a tint. So it's still kind of tinted green. So if you want to be really specific and you don't have a finish on your acrylic paint, then you might just have to just be really careful with where you're putting it. It's a fun experiment though. So you can get like different colors in different areas. I could paint some of the areas with a copper just to give kind of maybe a reason, or I could get like some kind of like copper looking wire and maybe have it like drill into the panel and have like a copper wire going somewhere. So let's see if we can make an oil color. We have about 12 minutes left in our stream, so we'll try and make a rust color. Rust. Let me see. What do we have? Let's try, move my green like this. Try to put in a little bit of yellow. If I can get this oil paint lid open. It's been years since I've used these. Hi, Carol. Welcome to everybody. And I've been trying to make sure, like I would love to say hello to everybody. but it's hard to make sure that I get everybody. And then if I miss someone, I feel bad. So I try to make sure to say hi to everybody. And then if anyone tells me it's their first live stream, I try to make sure and say hi on their first time. All right, so I'm going to add some yellow to this. And then I'm going to add some red because I don't have an orange pulled out from my original colors, and we'll see if we can get kind of a rust. Let me get the red. I used red a lot. Oh wait, this is acrylic. Why is that in the oil one? Okay, I'm going to use a little bit of red to see if we can up the rust effect here. Hi, Mr. Bassoon. Let's see. The green gives it a very industrial grunge vibe. Yeah, I really like that too. Hopefully I can get this red open. I'm afraid I'm going to break the... No, I can't get it open. Let's see. I have a water mixable one. They haven't been as pigmented, but we'll give it a try. These are newer, so it's a little easier to get the lids off. All right, so let's try it. See if we can get a little bit more rusty. It's at least a different brown than we had before. All of these traditional oil paints and water mixable oil paints are probably like arguing with each other in here. So it's a bit more rusty. Let me just add a little bit more red. This will be the last the last amount of red I will add before we try this on the panel. And that'll be the last thing we try in the stream. But I'm glad we got quite a few things done. We got a panel made. We tried out oil washes, and with some pretty good success, I would say. And I'll kind of keep an eye on everything and let y'all know. So this is more of a brownish, but it does have a little bit of a rust amount to it, I think. So, okay. Here we go with the rust. I'm going to try and get it behind some of these pieces. Or maybe like on top. And then in some of these grooves here. And then try not to get it all over my hand, but kind of on the top of the panel. Like so. Maybe have it drip down. I don't mind it dripping down a little bit. Like so. I thought Warbler would make a great Darth helmet, figures helmet, but I think I do better using clay. If you had another, like something you could form it around, I think it could work. I did get, Warbler reached out to me after my last live stream, and they have sent me a whole like sample packet of Warbler. So I am going to be trying that out in a future stream. So I'm super excited about that. They sent me like different kinds, like the clear kind and the black, the real black stuff, and not the knockoff that I purchased that didn't work very well. All right, so I'm going to go down the side a little bit. And then we need paper towel. We'll try and knock it off a little bit. All right, so just going to dab it Maybe I'll do like in a downward motion. Let me move this so I don't knock it all over. All right, we'll do like a downward motion here. It might be a little bit easier if like you aren't trying to show it on camera to like look at it and really get like detailed. Would the clear leave more fingerprints? I'm not sure. That's what I'm trying. I'm excited to try it out and kind of really see what the clear warbler is like, because a lot of people were thinking maybe it would make really cool light fixtures. So I'm excited to try it and just see. So I don't know. I'm trying not to take too much off, but then I'm trying to just not worry about it too much and feel free to experiment and see how it functions. I'm going to try on laying it down and trying this a little bit. Going out for my makeup B-Day dinner. What does my uncle give me for presents? A whole stack of foam board. That's awesome. What a cool uncle. And happy belated birthday, by the way. All right. So I'm just going to kind of not quite sure the plan here. But it's kind of fun to just play and see what looks good. And I might even in an hour like let this kind of dry and settle and then mess with it some more, because it won't be dry in an hour. So yeah, so that'll be fun to kind of see how it goes. What a mess. All right, so we have a panel. I'm going to try and get this all on camera here. My mess and all we created within the mess. And put this right here. We got our little filing cabinet. And yeah. So I think that turned out pretty cool. It is a bit of a mess to get everything going. As you can see, I've got my mess over here that I'll have to clean up. I've got a jar I'm going to put all these rags in, and then I'll dump well, it's not turpentine, the mineral spirits into a jar. So it does take a little bit more cleanup. So I probably wouldn't suggest, if you're just going to do one little tiny project with it, maybe go for like acrylics, because it's just going to be an easier cleanup. But if you're doing a whole area where you really you don't want it to dry too fast and you want it to clean up pretty easily, or okay, let me start over. If you're doing a whole project, sorry, I got distracted. Thank you for Rachel for taking out what was distracting. If you want to do a small project, easy cleanup, go for acrylic washes. If you're doing something larger and you want to take your time to figure out what you want it to look like, maybe it's worth getting out the oil paints, getting out an oil wash, making sure you're ready to clean it all up afterwards. Then you'll have, this kind of effect that you can play around with. So it's really kind of depends on what you want. So anyway, thank you all for being here. Let's see if I can't get down low enough to like get my face in the camera, and I don't want to get my face all in the oil washes. But thank you all for sticking around, and thank you for your patience through the issues. Now that I know that my issue was the face cam, I can definitely work around that and figure out what else we need to do. Sometimes it's just finding the culprit in order to fix the problem. So now that we have the culprit, because that's not what y'all helped me figure out what it was. So anyway, y'all have a wonderful day. Thank you, Rachel, for your help in the live stream. Thank y'all for the super chats and for being so kind and helpful in helping other people with their projects and questions. And thank y'all for being patient with me. And I will update how this all comes out on Instagram, or possibly even in the next Beetlejuice video. I might reference and talk about this a little bit as well. So anyway, y'all have an amazing day, and I'm going to clean up, eat lunch, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye. Oh, wait, I don't have the button over here. I got to walk all the way over to stop the stream. Thanks, everyone.